تقريبا المؤسسة بدأت عملها أو بدأ من الخطوات الأولى لتأسيس المؤسسة عام 1990، منذ حوالي 14 عاما. السبب الأساسي اللي دعم مجموعة من الشباب والمؤسسات حتى كان تشترك في عملية التأسيس هو نقل صورة ما يجري في الجنوب اللبناني المحتل آنذاك، وإيصال صورة المقاومة إلى كافة شرائح المجتمع اللبناني. يعني هذا السبب المباشر والأساسي.
الحركة الصهيونية العنصرية دي حركة بتتحضر من زمان، خطة بتتحضر من زمان وكمان من قبل الميلاد. غزو صهيوني سلمي لكل دول العالم وبخبز التعبان الرمزي. التعبان ده معمول له خريطة، مرسوم له خريطة ازاي التعبان ده بيتحرك ويلف ويأيد دول العالم ويستعبدها بطرق جهنمية. الطرق دي هي الغزو الاقتصادي اللي بيضعف قوتها بكل وسائل العنف والخديعة. الخطة الصهيونية دي طبعا مرسومة بدقة عشان ينشروا بين شباب العالم المجون والخمور والفجور واللهو والفساد.
والله هتشوق لهالجلسة، بس نفسي أعرف نهاية التعبان الصهيوني وين؟
في فلسطين، في فلسطين، في فلسطين، في فلسطين.
Al-Manar it follows the designation of Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. First of all, for the act of resisting Israel, it has been designated a terrorist, and it's sad that when the UN Charter legitimizes the right of people under occupation to resist occupation with in all its forms, that Hezbollah is designated as terrorists and defined as terrorists. But to designate its station as terrorist, and I think it's because of its presentation of acts in Palestine as resistance, is a signal of an international prohibition, and that the countries, unfortunately, all of them are following the lead of the US, and it's a political definition, it's a political act. It has nothing to do with the actual programming, although of Al-Manar. Although, as I told you, I don't think that the whole thing, even protocols of science, should have been produced. It's not an Arab document, and it was a tool in Tsarist Russia to justify the pogroms, and there's a confusion between that and what's happening, what Israel is doing, and I, as a journalist, I disagree with that.
So we believe the kind of pressure that Manar has been subjected to or subdued to was a kind of pressure that has to do with the political reasons, not with the professional or the vocational reasons, these kind of problems. Because if you go back to all the media outlets, European, Americans, they do mistakes all of the time. But no one has been put under the pressure to stop broadcasting as happened with Al-Manar. What was to happen later was to show the real face of the Israelis. During this recent war, the late war that happened, July war against Lebanon, the Israelis bombarded Al-Manar with heavy vacuum bombs, and they leveled it to the ground. This would tell you how much it was effective and how much they were afraid of the word and of the expression and of the message. This is not a terrorist entity, this is a media outlet, it's not inciting hatred, it's not encouraging violence or whatever. Our mission has always been to promote peace and equality and love and fraternity among all human beings. We've never made any kind of discrimination. We have nothing to do or anything against the Jews as Jews, Christians as Christians, or any other religious or ethnic group. The problem has to do with the political choices that support the colonization or support the occupation, which we continue to suffer from the Israelis as part of our country is still under occupation. This is the thing that I can mention about Manar.
As a journalist, I disagree with that. But I strongly disagree with the definition of Manar as a terrorist television.
It's a political issue to stop a channel of broadcasting in somewhere. It's a political issue other than a media one.
Manar is an important station, and they do provide good programming. And I don't think that if it were an American station, which touch upon even any subject, that they would dare to ban it.
In fact, because if there is a program, say, the West didn't accept it, talking about terrorism, they are not, encourage people to do terrorism, of course, but talking about terrorism and how we see how we deal with issues, who you can call terrorism or resistance or whatever. This is, a debate, a changing point of views.
I don't know if there is objectivity, but I think that people truth should be told. I think that people should be allowed to tell their own stories, their own experiences, and many better understanding will come out of it, even if they're enemies. If they're telling their own stories, there could be common ground. The problem is not people, the problem are the power structures.
You see, and what I believe, if every station abides by, how do I put, the global rules, they are really not put by governments and things, these rules, not really to encourage violence, for example, encourage hatred and things like that. There's no other reason why you should stop any station.
If you have 5 people in this room watching television, you'll have probably 5 different views.